Oh, did you start the broadcast?
Oh, I did not start it.
Is there a way to stop it?
That was I'm sorry, that was me.
Hey there, is that Carl or Jeff? That's Carl.
It is. Did I mess up there? Can I stop that somehow? Is there a way that I can stop that real quick?
I stopped it. You're all good.
Yeah, we
All right,
stopped video cam here too. I get that going.
And then here I just made one little change to the deck that I want to show you while we're here.
Okay. So Carl, I hear you're getting your fame here today. You're gonna be famous.
we're doing a highlight on Genesys because they did such a great job so far. We're doing
That is awesome.
we've yeah, they did a good job. They did a good job.
How you guys doing? I hadn't talked to you in a while, so how you guys doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good, growing. We have one of our people are down right now, so actually a couple of our people are down right now, but we're grinding right along. So how are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Just been, I tell you, with this coronavirus, I would think I would not be as busy, but somehow I think I'm even busier, which I don't know how that's possible. So it's just been nuts.
Yeah, it definitely is. Picking up. We're moving a couple of organizations. One that we're talking about today, about 300 people offsite, and then we're moving. I think we have another one of 55. Another one probably somewhere right around the same range, about 55 as well. We're moving them all offsite. So.
Yeah. Wow.
And we're trying not to go on. We're trying not to go to anyone's house. We're trying not to go out of the office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Shaw, I think you were going to show me something. Hey, Mr. Jeff, I see Jeff's face there. What deal? I can see the Genesys shirt. Wait a minute, you got to back up a tiny bit so I can see. There you go. There you go, Jeff. Oh, I can't hear you. It looks like you're not muted though, which maybe check the mic, see which mic it's showing.
How about now? Can you hear me?
There you go.
You can hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you good. So
okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah. You got a voice for radio.
Yeah, I got a face for radio. That's what
you got
they say.
a face for radio. Carl, how you doing?
Good. How you guys doing today?
Really well. Really well.
Yeah.
Really appreciate the fast start with Genesys, man. I know you and I worked for a number of years to get things going at my last job, but really appreciate the partnership.
Absolutely, yeah. We're looking forward to it. They're but chomping at the bit. We have our first call with them today at 1:30. So
good.
They're looking. Yeah, they're looking. Well, I do. We're waiting for the project management side to come online, but I think we're getting close with that. So we should be moving them all off site here fairly quickly. So
that's great.
And Shaw, it looks like now you're actually displaying both screens instead of just one screen, by the way. So I'm actually seeing kind of double. Well, I'm seeing, the preview screen. There you go. Yeah, and I think you were going to show me something, Shaw. I'm sorry, we sort of started talking and forgot about you there. So. And what were you going to show us here? I know the slide deck. Okay, so that's kind of the schedule there. So that was added. The Vonage is going, oh, by the way, Jeff, Vonage is going first, by the way. So you guys will come in at 12:15. Yeah, 12:15.
Are they on this call right now with us?
Not yet. I hadn't seen him. Oh, and I may see John Bainey getting on now too, by the way. So he's in the process if he's not already on.
Okay, if they're not on,
hey, good morning.
We're actually
Mr. John. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, John?
Yeah. We
good morning, guys.
That part up then. We don't want to bring that up then.
Nope.
And we do have one attendee out there as well. So Melanie,
Stephanie?
get started. Actually, Melanie, just went away. Never mind. So Yes, we don't know. So, Carl, you don't have to mention who you were displacing there.
Yeah.
So if it's Vonage
Yeah, no,
especially.
good.
So.
We're good.
And then Akil is on the way up. He is actually from Vonage, so he'll be on in just a second here. So just be careful at that point. So.
Yeah, got it. Good.
So,
Morning,
Shallow,
John.
was there something you were wanting to show us, that you changed or something in there? I'm sorry. And if you're talking, I can't hear you, by the way. You there, Shal?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yep.
I don't know what goes on over here. But basically just showing you that I inserted the calendar twice, just for people that pop on, that have to leave, or repetition,
Okay. So there at the end, you've got it as well, it sounds like then.
And then just the survey and Q&A page combined,
Yep. Cool. No, it looks perfect.
right?
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Hey, Mr. Akil, how you doing, buddy?
Good, Gary. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Oh, I see your video up there too. I see your smiling face there, and looks like a line behind you.
It is a line.
In other words, don't tick you off then. You take my head off.
Exactly. No, I would never do that. How are you doing? You staying healthy and everything, my friend?
Oh yeah, definitely. I was sick after we got back from, what was it, after San Diego, and then I went to Houston that same week. By the time I got back that Saturday, I ended up with flu later that week. So I had flu type A, pneumonia, all sorts. I mean, I was sick as a dog there for a while.
That's why I heard. I was like, oh my God, I hope Gary didn't get what's been going around.
No coronavirus. So just the old-fashioned flu.
Well, good. That is something you can for sure heal from. So I'm glad you're doing better, my friend.
No, I appreciate it. So, and it looks like we do have a couple of attendees out there. We'll get started here in just a few minutes, but again, we'll start right at noon for those that are joining on the attendee side. So,
Perfect.
oh, so it looks like most everybody figured out. So, Carl, you're not going to show your pretty face up there?
No, I got BMS, the old busted mug syndrome, so I can't do that.
I haven't heard that one. That's awesome.
That was pretty good.
What? I missed that. Carl, what'd you say?
I said I got BMS, the busted mug syndrome, so I figure I better not jump on. I actually grew like a full gnarly beard in the last couple of months though. I got the regular flu back in end of part of January, and I actually grew a full beard. And yeah, I've been taking it easy. Been in the house for I don't know a couple of weeks now. So
Yeah.
and you guys, is there anyone in our community with Corona at this point that we know of?
I'm sure there is, but I'm not privy to knowing anybody specifically, but I'm sure there's got to be.
Yeah.
So
There's a couple of cases popping up here in Naples that have some people I know that actually have it, and they said it's pretty rough. So
Is
Yeah.
it? Yikes.
yeah, interesting times though, huh?
yes, it is.
Yep.
Well, good morning, everybody. Again, this is Gary Davis with Intelisys. I'm the Director of Solutions Engineering, and I wanted to introduce you today to our Supplier Illumination series. This is the second one we've done. So we did one yesterday on cloud compute. Today, we're going to talk more about UCaaS and contact center. And I've got a couple of suppliers with us today. We've got Genesys with us, and we've also got Vonage. We're going to let each of them speak for 15 minutes and talk through some opportunities, talk through what they've been doing, and get started here. Again, remember, again, we'll take questions at the end. So again, questions hold till the end. If you want, go ahead and type those out though in the. You should see a question section on the on the GoToWebinar series. You should be able to see that, or you can set those in chat. So either way works, and we'll try and take those. What I may do is right at 12:30, we'll end it, but then also maybe go ahead and stay on for a little bit later, and we'll do some Q&A, things like that for those that want to stay on a little bit extra. And also we can get back with you the questions, make sure the suppliers get those questions and can send out answers afterwards. So we'll certainly do that. Again, the other thing I'd remind you right up front is we have an SE team. You know, I end up leading that team, but they're here to help. You know, during the coronavirus, during a lot of the activities happening right now, certainly we can dig into opportunities and help you explore what those opportunities are. You know, whiteboard out, and again, can dig into those for you. So with that, we're going to go and get started. And first up, you want to advance the slides. Here's our participating suppliers. Again, give a big shout out for a lot of the suppliers will be participating. We've got a jam-packed full of upcoming illuminations happening throughout this entire month, all the way out through June or out through April. And this is a series through the end of the week. So you'll notice today we've got these two, Vonage and Genesys. But the 25th, 26th, 27th, you'll see the schedule there below you. So please plan to join, you know, this every single day starting right at noon. We'll have these available. So sign up, you know, my Intelisys, and make sure everybody's there. So just definitely do that if you can make it. Definitely should be a good time for everybody. I tell you what, you want to go and advance to the next slide there. And I tell you what, we're going to start with Vonage today. So I've got a special gentleman here, Akil. Akil, you want to introduce yourself real quickly and maybe just quickly introduce what Vonage does and who Vonage is real quickly?
Absolutely, and thanks for having me, Gary. I really appreciate the time there. So my name is Akil Shahid. I'm the Vice President of National Strategic Partnerships for Vonage. Been here now for, gosh, going on almost 14 years here at Vonage, so I'm definitely a lifer here. So, you know, if you don't know who Vonage is, Vonage really provides a full suite of unified communications, contact center, and API solutions for our customers to take advantage of. And we've been obviously doing this for some time. So happy to dive in deeper and get into more details of what we're doing.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I mean, what do you guys do that's a little bit unique, a little bit different? I mean, you know, why should I, if I'm a sales partner, why should I pull you into opportunity? What's different about Vonage overall that you could share with our partners?
Yeah, great question, Gary. So I mean, when you look at kind of, you know, the space, obviously unified communications space in general has obviously been extremely noisy these last several years, right? A lot of players jumping into space, providing UC type functionality, your traditional PBX functionality. And what's unique about Vonage is that we not only do we provide obviously all the unified communication features that customers are demanding, the PBX functionality that customers are demanding, but we're providing it on a very flexible platform. So obviously, as you know, Vonage has went through an acquisition spree and bought a large number of players in the space that were definitely the best of their solutions that they provided in the space. So really, over the last 5 years, we brought all those different solutions together, fully integrated into one centralized platform. So as an end user today, what you get is a very flexible platform. So you can take what you want off the shelf, leverage it the way it comes out of the box, or you can go customize that solution as needed for your organization, because again, each organization has different needs, each organization or user has a different requirement. So you're able to really customize that entire solution. And again, we're providing a single pane of glass, so unified communications, contact center, API, all from a single solution interface. So from a vendor or a sales partner perspective, you don't have multiple different solutions in the back end. So it just again simplifies it, it makes it easy. The adoption obviously goes up because again, the tool is simple and easy to use.
Yeah, I mean, and kind of expanding on that a little bit, I know we're here today because we're streaming live. Part of it, you know, things were canceled out, channel partners. We're all in our homes typically right now, teleworking, remote working, whatever you want to call it. Maybe talk a little bit about some of the things you guys are doing there, because I know, you know, and for those attendees out on the list right now, if you go to the handout section, I notice you've got several handouts about COVID and remote working and things. So maybe talk about that just a little bit and let people start downloading some of that material as well. But
exactly. Well, and again, yeah, you know, it's unfortunate, obviously, with all the stuff that's going on around the globe, but, you know, it's been obviously a tough time that everyone's having to deal with. And in fact, you know, the remote workforce environment has been something that we've been actually out evangelizing for some time, right? That's definitely one of the key advantages of a UC solution. Organizations that adopted it earlier, for them, it was business as usual. They were able to shift their employees home and be able to obviously function without any interruption to their business. Others that did not, right, and were kind of slow rolling the actual technology rollout in the organizations, certainly felt the impact. So what we're trying to do and really help organizations in this time of need is we're providing solutions for them that they can take advantage of quickly. So we mobilized our implementation team where we're basically turning customers up within hours, and larger customers within days. They're up and running, fully functional, and able to make a call, receive a call straight on our platform, right? And so we have different packages. So we have a business continuity package that we've basically launched for customers that have existing infrastructures. They have an existing phone system that they haven't really moved to the cloud yet, but they have workers that are now working from home. So for them, we've set up where you can provide soft phones for those users. They can immediately, get set up and start leveraging that to receive calls. Not only phone calls, but also have their meetings, use that for messaging solutions, be able to communicate with not only their customers, but also their friends and family members as well. Along with that, we also have a virtual office solution that's available for users, especially in those segments that are really impacted, like education, obviously kids being home, or schools trying to connect with their kids. So there's a great tool for those educational verticals to start using. Healthcare verticals that are impacted, so they can continue to provide telehealth type solutions and be able to stay connected with patients that are panicking and trying to go get themselves checked out. And then also for nonprofit organizations that are also impacted, that are trying to give back to the communities and help people in need. So again, we're providing free solutions for that industry. And better yet, for folks that are just trying to leverage a video conferencing platform, just like we're using today, we have a free video conferencing solution available that they can go, basically leverage. And the good part on that is, unlike Zoom and other solutions, this is not requiring you to download any applications. It's leveraging WebRTC. All you need is a browser and any kind of camera-enabled device, whether it's a smartphone or a tablet or a PC, and you're able to communicate with friends and family members and communities across the world.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. And again, for those that are here, make sure you download this handout so we can also send those out later. I mean, Akil, I'm sure you can send those out, but make sure you check those out. And I guess kind of changing subject a little bit, not only do you guys provide traditional UC, if you will, but you guys also do a lot in terms of contact centers. Even those folks can work from home and things, but not just work from home, but talk about your contact center solution a little bit, particularly as it integrates with things like Salesforce and some options there. I know you're known for the integration with Salesforce. So maybe talk to me about a little bit about what you guys are doing on the contact center space.
Yeah, no, and again, when you look at the space there, it's not the remote workforce, certainly also impacted the contact center space. And as everyone may or may not remember, Vonage acquired a contact center player 2 years ago, a company called New Voice Media, which was 100% built in the Salesforce ecosystem, right? So they're not integrating into Salesforce, they're actually built within Salesforce. So the advantage there is you're now, as a user that's leveraging Salesforce, whether it's Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, or any of the other clouds that Salesforce offers, you're natively within those applications within Salesforce. So the power there, again, you don't have multiple panes of glass. Everything natively sits within the application. All your reporting, all your analytics, including leveraging tools like Einstein, are all available natively within the application. So again, it becomes simpler and easier for end user to leverage those tools. And it is a full omni-channel contact center solution. So whether it be just voice channel or whether you're trying to leverage, other mechanisms like, SMS or chat, including, social media, all that can be driven now within Salesforce, and everything lives within that platform. So again, making it simpler and easier for you as the end user to take advantage of. And the best part is, sorry, go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish your thought.
Yeah, I was going to say that it's actually connected to the Vonage UC application as well. So if you are a Vonage UC user and you have a contact center platform, unlike traditional solutions, you typically are two completely separate infrastructures, right? Your UC users and contact center users. And you don't necessarily have the visibility between the two. But because now both are on the same platform, the UC users can communicate with the contact center users. They can see presence, they can collaborate. Everything's on one centralized platform. So again, it makes it very simple for both these individual work units to collaborate as well.
Yeah, I was going to just kind of pick on you a little bit. What exactly is Einstein? You mentioned Einstein there. So it sounds really smart. So why should a user care about Einstein? I'm just curious. So.
Yeah, Einstein actually is a AI, artificial intelligence tool that Salesforce built natively within their platform, right? Again, it provides a lot of visibility, it's an artificial intelligence for the end user. So from a sales perspective, it tells you when you should communicate with the customer, is a deal moving in the right stage? From a service perspective, it tells you, what is that overall experience of that individual user? It can start capturing a lot of the data that we're putting within Salesforce and provide visibility to key leaders within the organization to make appropriate decisions.
Good, good. And I want to change subject a little bit here. I mean, sales partners a lot of times ask the question about, what new technology. Maybe talk a minute, maybe define, and I know we've got just maybe 2 minutes left, but maybe what is this notion of CPaaS? Because you guys play in this whole notion of what's called CPaaS. So A, what is it, and why should I care if I'm a sales partner? And then secondly, what do you guys do kind of unique in that space?
Yeah, great question again, right? So when we talk about CPaaS, again, it's a very, everyone says, yeah, we got CPaaS, right? So what CPaaS is communications platform as a service, right? So again, Vonage has our own communication platform, a company called Nexmo that was acquired, again, another 4 years ago. It's a direct competitor to Twilio. So when you look at the CPaaS solution we provide, really what it does is it's a platform that can be leveraged for a lot of different communications that are outside your norm, right? So whether it be video APIs, whether it be, authentication, two-factor authentication, whether it be using mobility features, SMS, texting, all those different capabilities and APIs that are available are something that customers can leverage to go create their own custom solution. For example, Uber leverages us today. So when you're calling an Uber driver or communicating with an Uber driver, that's all running on a Vonage CPaaS platform, right? So that text message or the actual message within the app is all running on the Vonage application. The voice call you make is running on the voice application. If you call an Uber driver, the proxy number that's set up temporarily for that session is on the Vonage platform as well. So all that's leveraging the CPaaS infrastructure. It tells you where the driver is located, it tells you where the passenger is located. All that's leveraging the geofencing technology. So that's an example of CPaaS. And again, think of them as Lego blocks that are available that you can leverage to go create your own custom solution that you're trying to accomplish.
So you can use that individually. You don't necessarily have to have a full contact center in order to get texting, some of the faxing, right, some of the other mediums. You don't necessarily have to build out a full contact center or a full UCaaS. You can kind of pick and choose the parts that make sense given the particular application or given solution, I guess is the best way to think about it from a if I'm a sales partner perspective.
That's correct. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you can just pick and choose what you want. If you don't have contact center or UC with us and all you want to do is use this, absolutely. And again, all the solutions we provide in the portfolio are all something that you can basically leverage as needed. So like I said, take it off the shelf as needed, utilize it for that component that you're trying to solve for, and then you can bring on other components as needed as well.
Good, good. Well, no, I appreciate it, and again, I thank you for being here today. I thank both suppliers here for being today, but I certainly appreciate you being here, Akil. And again, if a sales partner is there and need to learn more, I guess just contact you, and you can get them to the appropriate person. Is that a true statement?
That's correct. Absolutely. If you want to discuss more, you want to do a deeper dive, please reach out to me. My email address and all the details is in the flyers that you'll be downloading. And then we do have national channel managers located all around the country, and we'll definitely engage local channel managers in those regions to work with you closely as well. So again, appreciate the opportunity, Gary, and thanks for having me.
Oh, and stick on for a little bit. We'll have some Q&A here at the end, probably right at 12:30, but I appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Good deal. Well, I tell you what, let's switch gears a little bit. We also have, and if you can switch slides there. And I've got on the phone with me Jeff Creechin. I kind of make fun of his name since everybody makes fun of my name, so I'll let him introduce me a minute, however he wants to. I know we make fun of each other's names here, but it is Jeff Creechin, and I'll let him talk for a little bit, introduce Genesys, and maybe also introduce, it looks like you've got a crowd here, so maybe introduce a couple of the other folks that you have with us, and also speak just briefly on why the heck should a sales partner care about Genesys? I mean, why Genesys? You're kind of fairly new to the portfolio, so maybe what's unique about you guys a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, Gary, thanks for having us. I think these partner illuminations that you guys are doing are really helpful, especially during these crazy times that we're in right now. Just to kick it off, I wanted to first of all thank all of you for joining and taking the time to learn about us today and listen to us. I know that we are, in a very unique time in our country and our world with everything that's going on. So this is sort of becoming the new normal. And I just want to say that I hope, you know, everybody out there that's listening to this is safe and healthy and doing well despite all the challenges that we're all faced with. So we're in this together, and if there's anything that we can share with one another that'll help get through this, I think it's worthwhile. So Gary, thanks again for Intelisys putting this on today. I wanted to take a minute. We do have a couple people on the call with us here, and what we'd like to do today is something a little different. We want to illuminate, pardon the pun, we want to illuminate the crowd on Genesys, but we're going to do it in a little bit of a different way. We just had, as you alluded to, Gary, we just really launched the partnership with Genesys about a month ago, a little over a month ago in January. And we have already had meteoric growth in terms of approved lead registrations and opportunities. In fact, we've already closed 3 net new opportunities that were registered since January. And we're having tremendous success with that. And just a quick update on, I think, why Genesys is an exciting solution right now. We just give you some numbers. We grew our Genesys Cloud bookings 46% year over year. We grew our revenue 114% year over year.
Oh, wow.
And we're averaging 3 to 5 new feature releases on the Genesys Cloud platform per week. So if you do the math on that, our R&D team is so robust that we're able to do 3 to 5 feature releases a week to continue to improve the platform and create a more robust ecosystem for it. And to kind of summarize, you know, Genesys Cloud, what makes it, I think, so captivating and so you know, worthy of the attention that we're getting, is that it was built really from the ground up in AWS using microservices. And as I said, the feature releases, you know, that's about 150 or so feature releases per year. So pretty significant investment and upgrades in the platform. I think one of the things that makes it unique is that, you know, it's got not only a very robust CCaaS capability, but it's also got UCaaS built into it as well in one single pane of glass. So I think what makes Genesys unique is that everything that you would need for a UCaaS or a CCaaS implementation, we have at the highest level on one platform, without being reliant on third parties or having to bolt together disparate solutions to create a cohesive, fully, you know, capable contact center UCaaS application. So here to kind of illuminate that a little bit more, I wanted to introduce a couple folks that are with us. First of all, we have Carl Olson, who is an Intelisys partner based in Florida. Carl is the president of C3 Communications. And also we have John Bainey. John Bainey is the account executive here at Genesys. John covers the Florida territory. And John and Carl recently had a really nice win together. And I wanted to take a minute and introduce them and allow them to talk with you, Gary, about that win. All right?
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Absolutely. And Carl, I know we've known each other for a good little bit. You live down in Florida, and John, I know we met just a few months ago. But maybe, you know, Carl, you want to talk about how you engaged or how you thought about bringing Genesys in on the opportunity at hand that you want to share with us today?
Yeah. Well, I was looking at the main players for call center applications, and it's the usual suspects. So we had the lineup there, and then I knew that Carla had left as well, and then Jeff had gone over, and both of them are very obviously seasoned in the industry. So I figured if they went, it might be worth taking a look at, and that's how we kind of brought them into play. And we went against the other 3 big players in the industry. So.
Good. And so you met, my understanding is you met John at John Bainey at the IT Expo. So maybe John, talk about maybe the first time you met, you know, C3 and Carl, and maybe what that first call looked like, because I think he took you on a call, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe spend just a second to talk about what that first call looked like.
Actually, yeah, for me, it started right after we were leaving our kickoff in Orlando. And I hadn't even met Carla yet. I had just kind of heard that Carla had come over from Intelisys, and I was excited to meet her. But I got on the phone with her. She said, I'd like to introduce you to Carl. And Carl and I kind of had some just early on conversations where it pretty much consisted of Carl just drilling me left and right with questions on, can you do this? Can you handle this? Can your platform handle this? And then after those early conversations, we kind of discussed, hey, we may have a fit here. It may make sense to meet down in Florida and have a few on-site demonstrations. So I flew down, met with Carl, met with the customer, and it was great because I pretty much I followed Carl's lead through the entire thing. We really worked from a team. He taught me how to present the platform, what areas to focus on, and by having Carl's intimate information and knowledge on the customer, he was able to work with myself and my technical resource to completely tailor our presentation and our knowledge share to making sure we were hitting all the important areas for this customer. So in terms of a partnership, I would like to emulate the way Carl and I worked with this particular customer as I continue to work with partners in the channels and Carl in the future too. Carl, I don't know if you wanted to expand upon that, but that was my take on it.
Yeah, Carl, I mean, maybe talk about that a little bit. Maybe also talk about, why Genesys, why did the customer ultimately decide, Genesys was the right play for this given opportunity? I mean, why was that? I mean, was there some driving force behind that? And how was the engagement? I mean, was there things that had changed? I mean, what are some thoughts that you have on that side? So
a couple pieces of it, obviously, if we're in the call center space, Avaya's Avaya legacy systems are kind of what was the prevailing technology for years. And one of the things that they brought up in the presentation is that over the last several years, there's been over 800 Avaya displacements. And so that was a major hit. That was actually a pretty good point to bring home. But the sales cycle was really short too. We were engaged with 3 other vendors to begin with, along with Genesys, and as agents do, we kind of weeded them out. But the big thing was there was no comp impact, so there was there's no conflict there, right? There was a quick start package that they put together too that were able to get the customer started in a very fast. Rather than taking 90 to 120 days to install, we're looking at weeks as opposed to months. The other portion of it, what Jeff had mentioned previously, was we've sold contact center a bunch, but we always had to bolt on some other technology for the non-agents. They had a single solution for all of it. So they had regular UCaaS seats as well as the agent seats, and they can retrieve all the recordings. They can do a lot of items that, in a lot of cases, you run into. If you want your agents recorded and reported upon, you have to have a call center seat, and which is obviously $100, somewhere in that $100 to $130 range. But the customer didn't want to do that. They needed it from one single place. The other portion of it was that it was a single solution, single invoice. They were able to easily integrate into, or it's sold that they're going to integrate easily into their CRM. It's a homegrown CRM, but they're able to do a single login. So when they log into their CRM, it looks very similar to Salesforce, but when they log in, they're going to have their contact center license as well as their CRM license. They can log into one single place and go to work. So that was another piece of it that was really nice.
Yeah. So with that piece, was there any kind of customization or anything like that to make the two work together, meaning the homegrown CRM app and then Genesys itself on the contact center? Is there some sort of custom app or anything like that needed to make that work, or is that just seamless, or what's kind of happening there, I guess?
That's right out of the box.
So one thing,
they have a wireframe. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say it's pretty much just a deployment option we have. So if you have a homegrown CRM that is able to accept RESTful APIs, we're able to embed our widget into your UI and then be able to do data actions on page load as interactions come in. It was especially helpful because the CRM in this instance was built on AWS as a platform, which Genesys Cloud is built on that same platform. So it all speaks the same language. So it kind of was a perfect fit.
Good. Yeah, and one of the things I think anytime we talk about contact center spaces, And I think both groups, I mean, both you as well as Vonage had talked about this before, but the ability to have one single screen where everything shows up, a call comes in, you can see who's calling in, you can see all the information about, that customer, what's been going on with them, their history, all that stuff. It's a huge deal. So having the two integrate together was sounds like a big deal where you're concerned, Carl.
Yeah, and really the big piece of it was we're shaving them 45 seconds to a minute off of each phone call. And so when you look at that, and you multiply it times 300,000 phone calls a month, I mean, it's significant. And so there's some ROI there that we're able to, some intangible numbers we're able to put together for them to pay for it.
That
actually
is
worked
awesome.
out really well.
Yeah, that is awesome. And it sounds like also, a lot of times people hear contact center and they get scared because either A, they don't know exactly some of the questions to ask, but it sounds like you're able to pull in John, pull in Carla, pull in others, and they were able to kind of sell with you and help you through that process. I mean, I know you sold some of these in the past, but it sounds like you were able to pull in the resources. They could help guide you through that process, it sounds like.
Yeah, and having a subject matter expert on in the early engineering engagement, I think his name is Taylor, did a really good job as far as selling it to him in a non-salesy way. We brought in some of the key stakeholders and were able to answer some of the questions they had, where it wasn't just a couple sales guys sitting in the room yesing him to death. We had to work around a few things and actually test it out and do the whole thing. So engineering, their first words are, the problem with that is, and sales are always, yep, no problem, we got it. So we wanted to have a few of those conversations as well and make it uncomfortable for a minute and then go back into closing.
Yeah, and John, Taylor is on your side, correct? That's Genesys engineer you were speaking of, right?
Yep, Taylor's my engineer, and he is the bomb diggity. He is fantastic.
Good. And of course, on our side as well, we have engineering staff. We even have a dedicated contact center specialist who can help with these kind of situations as well, kind of early on in these stages. But great. No, sounds awesome. And the other last piece, it sounded like was kind of unique, is that a lot of people think about contact centers and it gets very complex, and the sales cycle takes forever. And oh, by the way, then implementation takes forever. So it sounds like, I mean, if we're talking IT Expo, that was February timeframe, give or take a little bit, I think mid-February. So you guys have closed the sale and during the implementation process now. So, and of course, that's key for a lot of sales partners because, that gets in the billing, which gets you into collecting money for that, right? So maybe talk about that just a second.
There's two pieces to that. The whole process was about, I think, just under 30 days from engagement to closing. But the big one was the spiff too. Not that we always sell for spiffs, but we have a large spiff, about 25,000 coming in for that. And I think you have a couple of those left, right? Is that right, Jeff?
Yep, we sure do. It's our fast start incentive. So we're rewarding the first 5 opportunities we get closed that are under 50,000 in MRR, and then we're rewarding the first 5 opportunities that we get closed that are above 50,000 in MRR. So the reward for the larger deals is $50,000 check, and the reward for the sub $50,000 deals is a $25,000 check. So yes, there's still several of those left to award out to people. So we encourage you, if you haven't worked with Genesys in the past, we'd love to earn your business and work with you. And we've got some incentive behind it. So really appreciate your support.
No, sounds great. And Jeff, just FYI, we have that Genesys Fast Start Incentive Program up there as a download option on the GoToMeeting webinar as well. So that is out there. So please download that for the sales partners out there. And again, I appreciate you guys being here. Jeff, I appreciate you coming in. John and Carl, I appreciate you guys being here as well and sharing your story with us. So again, I appreciate both of you, all 3 of you here. So
yeah, thanks for having us, Gary.
Yeah, thank you. And just closing out here, just asking a couple of questions. I had one person ask a question, and before we get to the question, let me just mention we do have a survey out there. So please take time as this ends to go and complete the survey for both Vonage and Genesys. What you thought about the Supplier Illumination, what you'd like to see in the future in these type of opportunities, and let's just jump into some of the Q&A real quick. I did have a couple of questions here. One was on, can Vonage elaborate on the geofencing and what applications it can address with that? So maybe just a quick 30, 45 seconds on that, Akil.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the geofencing side of the house, again, it's leveraging the APIs that Vonage offers. So you can use that to, work with your appropriate cell provider to determine, distance, right? So it'll work with the location services of your actual cell provider, but there are applications that can now be created from that to allow for things like, if you want to order since you want to order a meal from a restaurant, right? And you want to know exactly, the restaurant wants to know when to go and start preparing the meal, depending on where that person is located at, and how long it's going to take for them to get it. So based on the distance, it'll alert them so they know exactly to when to start preparing the meal, to have it ready, so that when the person arrives to pick up the meal, it's ready to go, it's hot, it's fresh, right? That's an example of how your geofencing can be leveraged. It could be leveraged for other mechanisms like, providing alerts, right? So for like example, if you're going to a grocery store, you want to be able to have alerts of, coupons or whatever the case is based on where you're located. Again, leveraging the location services that are already available on your smartphone devices. This API allows for you to go create custom applications to basically engage your customers and stay engaged with them.
Good. And I had a couple other questions here. One was, hey, do I have to register for these every single day? And if you want to advance the slide, Chow. But yes, right now today you have to actually register for each day in order to attend live. I know we are recording these and we'll be posting these. Not sure exactly when and where they'll be posted, but stay tuned for that. We'll definitely take care of that for you. And I actually had somebody, Jeff, talk about they spell their name the same way you do, by the way. So you're not alone in the world. So sometimes I'll make fun of Jeff. In fact, I call him Geoff a lot of times, and he'll make fun of my name because everybody mispronounces mine. Mine's actually Gary, but it's spelled like Jerry. So go ahead, Jeff. Tell him what you call me every time.
Good Jerry.
So Good Jerry becomes my nickname with me and Jeff going back and forth, aggravating each other. So yeah, I will go ahead and end this out. But I appreciate everybody being here. Particularly appreciate the suppliers being here. So give it up for both Vonage and Genesys, but also appreciate all the sales partners out there who attended. Again, we will be recording this. We will send this out to all the attendees. We'll also send out the questions and again, let them follow up with those as well. But again, thank you everybody for being here. And again, be here for tomorrow's. Tomorrow we've got Spectrum and Maestri. So again, March 25th, Wednesday, it's gonna be Spectrum and Maestri. So see you guys tomorrow. Thanks everybody.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.